started out alive, man, that was the play. Streaming every night, building up the sway. But as the sight faded, had to find my way. Now I'm hopping platforms, surfing through the fray. Got my crew behind me, yeah, we call them givers. Chillin' IRL, catching all the rivers. Farkle in the chat, bringing laughs to the grind. Talking crypto games while we sippin' Jack Fine. Gives a minute, yeah, we take our time. Living in the moment, the life's a subtle rhyme. From the land down under, streaming through the night. New Zealand's vibe, surfing waves day to night. Always looking for the next thrill, that's where I ignite. Community so solid, always shining bright. Rolling, rolling deep and cruising for the height. From the struggle to the stream, it's all just a game. But with the giver found, we're making our name. Jack and crypto profits, life just gets sweeter. Every view and every stream, making life a keeper. Give us a minute, yeah, we take our time. Living in the moment, the life's a subtle rhyme. From the land down under, streaming through the night. Got my heart on my sleeve, everything feels right. So here's to the journey, no regrets in sight. Each laugh and each tear, it's a beautiful fight. Keep the wave rolling, let the good vibes flow. We're the givers, together in the show. Gives a minute, yeah, we take our time. Living in the moment, the life's a subtle rhyme. From the land down under, streaming through the night. Got my heart on my sleeve, everything feels right. Script how we play a game. From start to next time, chasing fame. With the gear behind me, changing scenes. So through it and then living out the drink of my acoustic strum. Pure and chill, far cracking jokes. Go stop the thrill. In the land of Kiwis, we ride the waves. Our road streams phone, no better days. It's a minute, yeah, we take our time. Living in the moment, the life's a subtle rhyme.
Hello, the internet. It is Tuesday, the 3rd of February, 2026. Yes, and welcome back to the channel. I did have to check. I've said the date already once today. I went and shot a video, did a little review action, and I confirmed that it's the 3rd of February, Tuesday style. What I didn't confirm, which kills me, is that my audio in this video I shot was scratchy the whole time. Far out. I haven't used my GH5 with a microphone. I normally use, where are they? I normally use these guys. These microphones, the Rode Video Mic, no, the Wireless Go. These are my, well, lately these have been my go-to mics for all of my recordings because I use my iPad, but today I took my GH5 out and so I had to plug in a microphone into it. And what I didn't realize is that if you don't do that often, I haven't done it for like 7 months or something, apparently little shit gets in the microphone, the vagina, and then the penis goes in and it's all scratchy. You need to lube it basically. So I actually did. I lubed it up with... I used a bunch of this in there. I don't know if that's the right stuff to use, but I sprayed that in there and I gave it a good shimmy jimmy. Point of it is that I did shoot an entire video, which I cannot reshoot because it was an opening and the audio is a bit lame. It'll still work, but it's just a little, audio's got to be good, and when it's not good, it's not good. But Giggle Pickles, hello, how you doing? Giggle Pickles following me on Twitch, YouTube, and Kick, saying hello in all 3 chats. I appreciate that, Giggle Pickles. Thank you for swinging by early in the stream. What else can I tell you before we get too deep into the details here? I had a horrible nightmare last night. Sitting here at home recovering from a fall down 14 steps, concrete steps. You fell down 14 stairs? Now, that's a large fall, Giggle Pickles. Even in my heyday of skateboarding, I didn't even ollie down 14. I mean, I maybe did 7 or 8, but 14? Shit. Hope you're okay. recovering. Did you break anything? 14. You fell down 14 stairs. You might have needed to go to the hospital. I mean, I'm factoring in some broken bones there. Wow, that's horrible. Hope you feel better soon. I had a nightmare last night, and I was quite vocal and sleep talking. It's kind of strange. I'm a sleep talker, and I move around a lot in my sleep, and I don't often, but I have a history of sleepwalking, and when it gets really gnarly, yeah, it gets a bit frightening. But last night, it's kind of strange. Like I talked. I had a nightmare, and I was talking in my sleep or yelling in my sleep, and it was pretty convincingly real what was going on. But it's not like it's. Don't get the wrong idea. It's nothing about what you might think. It's not like relationship stuff. It's just this weird. So it involves a guy I haven't spoke to in like 15 years. You know what? By the way, Lockie, if you're watching on Facebook, Lachlan Barrett, a guy I used to work with at the Strand. Let me just make sure he may be watching this. I'm distracted. Okay, I'm just going to skip past that. Go to Facebook. Lachlan Barrett, a guy I used to work with, a waiter I used to work with at the Strand. He was in my dream last night. Lachlan, now not Lockie. Here we go. Lachlan Barrett, not Lockie Sheehan. Okay, why did it not come up? Lockie Barrett, Lachlan. Oh, what? He's unfriended me. The fuck? What? Add friend? What? Lockie, what did I do? You know what? Fuck Facebook right up the fuck Facebook. But like, actually, he's only got 6 friends. Maybe he went and unfriended everybody. I don't know what I did to deserve. I mean, I don't know what I ever do, but when this always blows my head off when I go in to see someone, and then it's like add them as a friend. It's like we've been friends. Like I've known this guy for like 20 years, and here we are. I've got to add him as a friend. I'm going to do it, but because I know I didn't do anything wrong. But anyway, that's the dude anyway. And I was just doing that to see if he was perhaps he's watching this because he was in my dream last night. So the dream was, and it's so dumb, right? Like, so at one point. In real life, did he live in my room? I think at one point he was in the room that I ended up moving into in Glenelg, Jetty Road. Either that or I was in the other room. I can't remember, but we lived in the same house. And in this dream, we were still in the same house. I was in a bunk bed, like a dormitory style 1, 2, 3 level bunk bed. I was on the top level, sleeping, facing into the room. He came into the room to try to remove things, like take away bags and boxes and like a lot of things that needed to be removed from that room. He was trying to do it quietly and in one go. So because he looked up and he saw me, but he assessed that I was asleep. So he was trying to do it quietly. But I actually had my eyes open in this scenario, and I saw him, but I know he didn't see me. And so I just lay there pretending to be asleep, and he was trying to move these boxes and cartons and carry this stuff, and he kept dropping it and falling over and making a huge amount of noise. And in the end, I got so shitty with him that I yelled at him from in my bed while I was asleep. I yelled at him. And in actual real life, I was yelling here, so much so that my sister, because I think this was about 5:30 this morning, my sister thought something was wrong. Haven't been sleeping as well as I should in the last 2 to 3 months, and I've often woken up in a state, and she thought something was happening, but it was actually just a fucking weird dream. So Lachlan, sorry for whatever I did to deserve a non-friend request, an unfriend. I don't know. I don't think it's related to this dream. I hope it's not. I just re-added you. If you do happen to see this in the future, hope you're doing well, Lachlan. He was a nice guy, actually. I don't know what I could have done. Giggle Pickles. I landed on my tailbone and my left elbow. I didn't break anything, which is amazing. Well, I mean, that's good to hear. So no broken bones, but just shook up, right? Landing on your tailbone, ouchie mama, and left elbow. Shit, and you didn't break anything. Okay, well, that's good to know. Congrats on that. How did you do it? How did you end up falling downstairs? By the way, Skins, before we go any deeper, I have done what I said I would do. I subscribed to Botrix for 1 month. Right now, if you go into Botrix, or if you're in Kick and you type !shop, SHOP, it'll bring up the shop and it'll show you the entire store and all the things you can trigger. And I'm going to keep a note of those and write them down. For the next month, you can access the shop, but as soon as the month expires, that shop link will no longer work, but the actual commands will work. So I'll put them somewhere and we'll be able to easily access them so that you can trigger alerts. A couple of new Toothboy alerts. Let me trigger one. I want to see how this one sounds, actually. A couple of new Toothboy alerts in there. Let me see how this one goes.
Into the military green. Going on here, little boop boop.
There you go. Boop boop. And I think there's another one which is just the boop boop short. I think I called it boop short. Boop boop. Boop boop. Couple of new Toothboy alerts. There's a whole bunch in there though. You can go and find them all. But the point is they'll always work. Boop 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 boop. But you boop boop. But you won't be able to see them by pressing the command shop or !shop, but they'll always work even when the month expires. Boop boop. Giggle Pickles. Hey, Comtech's in the house. How you doing, Comtech? I found a great video for our next crypto stream, which will be tomorrow because I'm not working again. I didn't get a shift today and I'm not getting a shift tomorrow. Therefore, I'm not working Thursday either. I found a video called Crypto. Look at this video. Where is my mousicles? Crypto, the world's greatest scam? Statement, not a question, statement. So I'm keen to look at that tomorrow. Today, though, we are going to chillax with 2 different videos that Dale wanted us to watch. The invention of the Hop Torpedo by Sierra Nevada. And why did they build Venice on water? And then, after that, speaking of boop boop, Toothboy, we got a Ghost Town Living video we haven't watched for a while. Why are jeans in abandoned mines worth $100,000? I don't know. Why are they? Hopefully TB can inform us of all that. Giggle Pickles, I haven't looked at my crypto in a few years. Well, I know you hold a little TRX there, Giggle Pickles. I know you got a little Tron skins. We should check into that. Actually, TRX has been on a bit of a run. You know, we could take a little slight pause here and just bring up the CoinMarketCap for a TRX. CoinMarketCap. I want to just see out of curiosity because I've got a little TRX going as well. Searchy search for TRX machine. Tronskis. It's up 19% on the 24-hour, but look at that chart. That's an all-time chart. That's not a bad chart. That's a hex chart up and to the right. That's not a bad looking chart, you know. 28 cents. Comptech. I remember when TRX was 3 cents. Right on. Look. I mean, look down here. Less than that. Here, 3 cents. Yeah, 28. I mean, that's a solid look. I'm the first to slag off Justin Sun and everything he's ever done, but that price chart is not a bad looking price chart. Let's take a look on the weekly. Okay, it's down for the weekly. Monthly. Okay, so I'm just saying on the monthly, it looks like it peaked out around 32 cents and now it's down to 28 cents. That may be a chance to buy. Could be a good buy. 28 cents. Or could be a good chance to swap some tokens. Now, speaking of that, do we want to do crypto today? I've already got a plan, but I've got about $60 worth of Contentos. Do you know what Contentos is? This if you go to cos.tv, I didn't type it. Cos.tv. Check this out. This was a website that DLive, oddly enough, spruiked for a whole bunch of months there. Contentos, this Cos.tv, it's like a YouTube kind of like spin-off. And the idea is that you upload content, you comment on content, and you earn their in-app token. It's kind of like, I guess, it's like DLive back in the day. Gives a minute. If you search me, I've been uploading for about 7 years. Uploading my DLive archives, surfing content, this and that. And if you look at my videos, this one's had 4,000 views. This one's had 3,000, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 380, 16, blah, 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 blah. So you got basically go to creators. I've almost got 10,000 followers on Cos. And the point of it is you earn this token and then you can vest it or stake it, and then you earn more rewards. And it's a little bit lame because you earn a bigger pool of the reward by commenting. So there's heaps of comments on my shit. Like, check this out. If you go back to my videos and just take a look at the comments on this. Just garbage. Wait. See, it's telling me to earn pop right now. The old school DLive archive. And look at these stupid comments. Excelente video, muy bueno, lo recomiendo. Hola amigo, whatever that says. Esperano, so opino el mecaniano. Excelente. Super interesante el video, gracias. Opino con laico, opino con laico. Buen video, opino. I don't know why it's all Spanish, but there's one that's not. Where was that? Merhaba, that's Turkish. Merhaba, akadusi. And etc. And all these comments that because they're earning from it, right? So they're earning. These people get, the more you vest, the more you earn. This person earned 0.00000000023 cents. Excelente. This person here, they earned 0.00045 cents. Excelente video. And my point is, after doing that, after me contributing, because you earn more as an uploader, can't live stream, but you can upload existing content. After doing that for 5 to 6 years, I've actually got $60 in value of their token. Now, I'm just saying, well, I don't think Cos.tv or Contentos is going to do anything, to be completely frank. But what is doing something? TRX. Now, Cos.tv or Contentos is on the Binance Smart Chain. So there could be something to be done yesterday. Yeah. We could do this yesterday. We could even do it tomorrow because yesterday's already been and gone. We could convert that Contentos into TRX. However, if I do that, then whatever I upload and whatever I make comments, I don't earn as much because I've then taken out my vested Cos or Contentos and taken it off platform. So you might say, well, why would you fuck that up? You've been doing it for 5 years. You should just keep doing it. And then in 10 years' time, that $60 might be worth $300. And by the way, then Contentos might jack up in price. Let's take a look at its chart. It's called Contentos. Cos. And it's down. Well, it's up on the 24-hour, up 3%, 0.001 cent. But look at their all-time chart. All-time charts just plummeted down. So from launch, it's never done anything, and it's at a fraction of nothing, right? And that's the all-time chart. Let's go to the yearly chart just to see what happened last year. Down. So I'm just saying it's something that I do have $60 worth of. It might be better just to not get rid of it and hang on to it. MD Witt, how you doing? Hello, Bannon. Hello, MD. How do you do? It's nice to see you. Welcome, everyone, to Giz Minutes channel. Don't forget to subscribe, get notified, and share this out. Giggle Pickles, thank you so much. You're being very lovely to my content. Let's call this Gives a Minute 2.0. No. But this next phase of my streaming career, let's say, the post 2025, I've noticed you've been here a lot and you've been helpful. I appreciate you. Thank you. So there's a few things to think of there with cryptocurrency, and I do want to learn a little more. I want to learn what I can do this year to further my earnings, you know what I've done? Are we doing a crypto stream? I feel like we are. I didn't mean to, but now I'm talking about crypto. Oh, I shouldn't open this when I'm streaming. I did buy a little Ethereum. Where's my Exodus? I did buy a little Ethereum, and I don't like how in Exodus you cannot stake. So I added a little Ethereum to my bag, and I wanted to just add that Ethereum to my staked Ethereum, or my staking, they call it on Exodus. You cannot just add the additional Ethereum you bought. You have to have a minimum of 0.1 Ethereum to stake. I've already got a certain amount staked and it's active. I just wanted to add the little bit extra I added into my portfolio onto the stake. You can't do it. It's a bit of a shame. Comptech, if you're going to do crypto, check out Pepe. Now, I do own Pepe. Comptech. We'll do this tomorrow, but I'll do it now as well. But I just want to see what's Pepe doing. It's up 2.8% on the daily. I own Pepe. I own a substantial amount of Pepe, but the price of Pepe is so low that even owning 40 million, which I own, it's only a value of $170. That's at this price point, and well, if you go to, there's my Pepe holdings. You're not supposed to show your holdings on stream, but this is such a shit coin. Why is it not focusing? Why is that not focusing? I'm not behind it. Why is that not focusing? There you go. 40 million at $1.70. But that's the all-time chart there. All-time chart's down 60%. It was up much higher about a year ago. Yeah. I see. I'm going to put that brightness back up. I see that it did maximize. By the way, where did I get this from? I see that I received it on January 4. Did I buy Pepe? Apparently I bought Pepe last year. Dude, that's a month ago last year. It's the 3rd of February now, but January 4, 2026 at 10:58 a.m. That wouldn't be a stream. Oh, that could be US time. I bought 40 million Pepe. Apparently. You know what probably happened there? I probably did that because I had some other tokens that I thought shift them into an altcoin. Probably what I did. More than likely, right? And what was the price of Pepe in January? You can't really see that so easily. Oh no, you can. Looks like 6th of February 2025. The price was around. It was actually higher than it is now. It was 4 zeros 1 5. Now it's 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 5. It's 5 zeros and a 9 right now, but in January of 2025, it was 4 zeros 1 5. So I bought it at a bad time, really. Well, still a good time for such an altcoin, but. And anyway, we're not doing cryptocurrency today, but we are going to take a look at these videos that Daleskis wanted us to look at. The first one will be the Hop Torpedo by Sierra Nevada. Now, I am going to jump out and grab myself a coffee, even though I have had a whiskey. I was doing a review. I was reviewing my friend's whiskey, and I've come back from it. And I'm a little toasty, and it could be easy to continue on beveraging on that whiskey. I'll show it to you what it is. This is it? This is really, really tasty. The Spirit of Port Stephens. This is from Lemon Tree Passage Distilling. This is the Black Marlin. This is the first whiskey from Port Stephens. It's called the Black Marlin. There's a little history there. The Black Marlin is the Well, the history behind this black marlin is that it's the first time anyone's ever caught a marlin on a rod and reel. So anglers, fishermen, fishing people, fishers, what? How do you say that politely? Not fishing men. People that fish, they don't often use a rod and reel. Definitely not to catch this big fucking marlin fish with a big spear on its front, right? The big fish that flaps around and jumps out of the sky and all that crap. Someone caught one in 1919 in Port Stephens, became famous. So a lot of local businesses in the area call themselves the Black Marlin as a tribute to. And so my friend Greenie, Marcus G, who runs the Lemon Tree Passage Distilling, which you've seen on my New Year's Eve video on my channel, he made a whiskey, not allowed to call it a whiskey because of regulations. It's got to be called a grain-based spirit. It's got to be 24 months it's got to be secondary fermented for 24 months before you can call it a whiskey. His isn't that long yet, so he has to call it a grain-based spirit. This is it. I drank it today, or I reviewed it today. And I could very easily... It's so good, though. It's so good. Although I feel like I don't want to do that. I want to drink coffee and just chill out. Because if I drink that, I'm going to get boozed up. I just wanted to tell you how rad it was, because it is rad. And it smells so good. It's been aged in bourbon oak casks. So it's got this real sweet, chocolatey... It's got like a coffee feel. It feels like a morning... Like, actually, I did drink it this morning. I drank it before midday. It's got like the feeling or the flavor in there is the brittleness. No, not brittle. The bitterness of a morning coffee with the added loveliness of a chocolatey. Dude, I'm really wanking on here. Let me go and get a coffee. Here's a surfing clip from a couple of days ago. And then we'll take a look at the Hop Torpedo by Sierra Nevada. Hey, before we move on, I've been digitizing, speaking of Greenie or Marcus G, I've been digitizing a lot of his old school camcorder cassettes, both digital mini DV and digital 8 high 8. I'm pointing up there because that's where they all are stashed. His tapes are all lined up there, the ones that I've done and the ones that I'm fixed. By the way, one of them's broken. I've had to like cut it and paste it together. And the problem, or not the problem, but the thing that's come up, particularly with some of these older high 8 tapes, these 8mm ones, these ones here are very corroded and, well, some of them, I know that there's content on these tapes, but some of them just don't play. And so I asked ChatGPT about the situation, and it said you can use it's kind of this stuff again, like the ICO propyl stuff, whatever, and you can do a quick clean of the video head with a Q-tip or a earbud, but be very careful with how you do that. And if it doesn't work, it's probably you be careful. You don't want to damage the head. So I did a little job on it, and it didn't work. And then it said you probably need to get one of these. Now I don't have one handy. Actually, no, I do. Hold on. No, I don't. I don't know where that is. It said you probably need to get a cleaning cassette for the camcorder. Now, I used to have, and that's what I was looking for just now, I used to have a mini DV, so this smaller style cassette. I used to have a cleaning tape for that camcorder, but I don't, sorry, that's not, so I needed to, they're two different camcorders. These smaller tapes, mini DV, digital, old school 8mm. I don't have a cleaning tape for that. They came, you could buy them in any camera store or Ted's, JB Hi-Fi, any like Tandy, any of those electronic stores, you could buy them for like $4 or $5. I got one on eBay. Have a guess how much this fucking thing was. A high 8mm Sony cleaning tape, $130 plus $20 for $100. I paid $150 for an 8mm cleaning cassette. Yo, Dale, how you doing, man? And I'll tell you this, I put it in, I ran it for 10 seconds, it works perfectly. So it was worth the money, but wow. I'm just saying, if I go to China again sometime, I'm going to buy a whole fucking box of these things and sell them on eBay because everyone's got. I'm not the only one that's got old school camcorders. Old school camcorders that they're going to use at some point to digitize, right? And at some point, the heads are going to need to be cleaned. There's a little business going on there. $150 for that. For one tape, dude. I had to do it, though. I had to do it. I did it. It worked. And now if anyone needs their digitizing done, I'm the guy to do it. Only in Australia, though, because we have the PAL system. If you've got an NTSC camcorder, you're a shit out of luck. It's kind of weird how there was a system like that. Look at this. Look how fragile this shit is. I had to take this one. I had to take the tape apart. And I've got to literally cut and paste the tape back together. And I unspooled it all off the spools. It was covered in mold. I literally stripped all the tape out of it. Made sure that the tape would free spool. And now I've got to cut literally Command C and Command V. And then I've got to Command C and Command V. That's to put it in terms that the kids will know. And then I've got to spool it all back on. Hopefully it works. I sell those on eBay all the time. Only $69. Cheap, $69. Speaking to Dale, Here we are, dude. We've got your content here. This invention of the hop torpedo by Sierra Nevada founder Ken Grossman.
Speaking of hops, I want to talk about one of the cool things that I think you guys developed, and a lot of other craft brewers, the torpedo is where I'm going with this, but I used to have what I'd call the hop flavor cannon, or the cold side flavor. And I'd use.
By the way, can I acknowledge this? I want to be the first person to say it. I want to be, no. I just want to say it. I don't like hoppy beers. I don't really like them. I don't like them. I like malty
other
beers.
Things, it could be coffee or fruit or, other things to do on the cold side. So, but I feel like you guys kind of developed that. So tell me a little bit about that history of the torpedo.
Yeah, so the torpedo came out of actually our need to make more Celebration Ale. Celebration Ale was always dry hopped with whole leaf hops, and it still is. And we were limited as we grew to how many tanks we could dry hop in. And when I designed this brewery we're in today, we were at the old facility in the mid 80s, and I realized we better look at growing the company
mid-80s
and building a new brewery. And we were in a funky metal building, and equipment was primitive, and so we had this vision. And so in 87, 88, we
us Bunny Webbits, we love our hops. I mean, people do like them. I'm not saying that they're bad. I'm just saying it's not my flavor. Like I don't. If someone said, "Here, take a beer," which one would you like? I don't usually go towards the hops ones. I'll go towards like the dark ales, the thicker stouts, or the malty kind of ones that have like a solid fucking body on them, a solid thick molassesy. The hoppy, clear, sort of crispy summer stuff. I've just never really dug it. I mean, look, yeah, each to your own, but just know that you're wrong.
And when I designed this brewery, we were making a little over 10,000 barrels, and so I designed the brewery to go to 60,000 barrels, and which was a pretty bold jump. And at that point, I think Anchor was at 35 or 40,000, and Fritz was like the most successful small brewer out there. And so I thought, God, if we could ever get to 60,000 barrels, it'd be amazing.
Different strokes.
So that was the capacity of the brewery.
Man.
And our first.
By the way, Dale, I did what I said I would do, and I paid for a month of Botrix. So the shop there is there for everyone to have a look at. A couple of additional ones at the bottom there from from Toothboy. But I've now, after the month is up, well, before the month, I'm going to go through and grab all the links or all the commands, and we'll put them into a table or whatever. Comtech, I prefer darker stout beers. Me too, man. I've enjoyed a few hoppier beers. Yeah, I definitely don't dislike them. But if someone said, what would you choose from this list? The hoppy stuff would be at the end of the list for me, for sure.
We brewed over 20,000 our second year, about 35,000 our third year, like 45,000, and the fourth year we were out of capacity. And Celebration Ale kept growing, and we were limited to the tanks we could do this dry hopping in. And so as we continued to expand, I went to conical bottom tanks.
That's going to be weird.
We have 4 open 100-barrel fermenters here. That was the original design, was to 4 opens and a dozen 200-barrel aging tanks. And that got us to that 60,000 barrels. We had a small lager cellar with 4 200-barrel tanks. But we were at a Celebration Ale capacity. And so I started to play around with sort of an external way to still use Hoko hops and to infuse the beer. And so after Celebration Ale season, we started to experiment with this. How close can we get to matching our regional dry hopping method, which really was just filling these mesh bags full of hops and tying them into the bottom of a fermenter and filling the fermenter up with beer. And so we started this external circulation loop through a bed of hops. And I started out, my first versions didn't work well with just a tube packed full of Hoko hops that we would try to force beer through. But
where else should we go?
Back pressure created by going through a compressed bed of cone hops didn't work. And so as I evolved it, we made a smaller one where I put hops in a cage and then circulated.
I think AI is going to be very dangerous.
Helpful.
And that
Helpful.
Interesting.
Of
the hop torpedo. And so we did this after Celebration Ale.
Yeah, giggles.
So we couldn't call it Celebration Ale. So
You haven't had a drink in 21 years. Okay, I get it. I understand. Congrats. Obviously, there was an issue there that you needed to put a lid on it. Okay, understood. congrats on 21 years. That's quite the achievement.
Morphed the recipe a little bit and named the beer after the device that looked like a torpedo. So that's how we started. And
Yeah. Amazing way to add flavor, not just with hops, but with other things like I mentioned. Yeah, so it's that's pretty cool.
There you go, folks. Boop, boop. Now, moving right along to a different subject altogether. Why did they build Venice on the water? I don't know. I've never known that, but let's find out. Boop, boop. Cue the music. Probably just have to mute that in case I get a little stingage.
How do you build a city on a swamp? On waterlogged mud? On shifting silt where even trees refuse to grow? Let's dive deep into the layers of mystery, engineering magic, and a beautiful madness of Venice, the city that shouldn't exist.
Dale says it's less than 21 hours for me. I got loaded yesterday. Dude, I was about to get loaded today. I feel better not drinking anymore. I still don't go anywhere, but that sells any kind of alcohol. Fair enough, Giggles. Fair enough. Like you obviously have your reasons, and those should not be discredited. They should not be discounted. You can certainly do your thing. I quite enjoy a drink. I've never had a problem with drinking, but I've certainly seen. Well, actually, that's not true. I have had a problem when drinking, that I've made the wrong choices and I've said the wrong things. That's for certain. But ultimately, I do that without a drink as well. So that doesn't really, that's neither here nor there. They just call me GP now, Gibbs. If I called you GP, I'd be thinking I'm referring to a doctor. Giggle Pickles. I quite like Giggles. GP, yeah, I'd be thinking I'm talking about a doctor there.
The story of Venice begins not with a blueprint, but with fear. In the 5th and 6th centuries AD, waves of barbarian invasions pushed northern Italians to flee their inland
Call me
cities.
Giggles. Yeah.
The inhabitants of the mainland fled to the Venetian lagoon. At the time, the lagoon only contained a series of marshy islands that would seem inhospitable, as each island could barely even support the weight of a human body.
Yo, Flowski! How you doing, Flowski Mix? What's cracking? How you going?
If you stepped onto the islands, you would sink to about your waist. But what really lies beneath Venice? Ancient crypts? Maybe even Atlantis' jealous cousin.
Doing well, thanks. You? Yeah, I'm doing well too, man. I'm doing well. Now, by the way, when they say that Venice was just a boggy marsh, why would there be a city underneath it then? Someone spotted it years earlier and thought that boggy marsh would be a great place to build an underwater city. You know what I'm saying? Not really.
Let's pull back the waters and explore. At first, it wasn't about building a city. It was survival. The refugees who sought safety in the lagoon were driven by the necessity to create a new kind of settlement that could survive in
Flowski, GP reminds me of Global Partner, for sure. Yeah, that too. Absolutity. Yeah, Global Partner. Are any of us global partners anymore on DLive? Are there any global partners around? Hello, global partner. Anyone?
environment. But these early settlers were clever. They knew they couldn't build on the water, but maybe they could build in it. Early Venetians lived in rafts and stilt huts, moving from island to island like nomads on water, until they learned how to root their homes. Its earliest engineers
Now that means
weren't.
something entirely different in Australian. How to root their homes. Shit. By the way, dumb question, but the water is salt water, right? He's talking about a boggy marsh, kind of reminds me of like freshwater bog, but we're talking salt. We're talking the ocean, right? Delsky, I'm the one and only VV verified viewer. A verified viewer on DLive. Verified viewer on DLive. I have to trust you on that, dude.
Trained. They were fishermen, monks, and refugees working with rope, logs, and stone. Here, we will start at the very first layer of the foundations. The construction challenges posed by the Venetian lagoon's
Hey,
soft,
Jude,
marshy soil.
Jude Jitsu over on the Beam Machine. How you doing, Judeskis? Jude Jitsu. Good to see you on the Beam Machine. You get a nice little profile picture there too on the beam handles. That looks rad, doesn't it? Your little, yeah, the Kick logos and the other stuff in the Beam chat just is black and white, but you get a lovely little colorful logo. Well, shit. Pretty good. Yeah, pretty good. Oh, Comtech. Don't you need to have the photo taken to be a VV? Ooh, interesting. Blue screen static. Daleski, that title was given to me by several people, including a certain staff member.
Which lacked load-bearing capacity, led the Venetians to develop this solution: wooden piles. They drove them deep into the soft, muddy ground, creating a stable foundation to build their homes and public buildings.
Dude, that's an actual photo from Panama City Beach Flowrider. Interesting. You and Dale are both in the Flowrider. Interesting. Cool, man. So that's a sun. Wait, that'd be a sunrise, right? From Florida on the right-hand side. Yeah, that's a sunrise, the east side.
But because these logs are constantly submerged and sealed off from oxygen, the Venetians discovered a trick. If you drive wooden stakes, typically oak or alder, deep into the compressed clay layer beneath the mud, they don't rot.
Wait. Jude says it's a sunset, but you're looking across the ocean, unless it's a large bay and you're looking westward. But if that looks like an ocean to me. I mean, there's only a tiny little avatar, and my eyes are hard of seeing. Flo's Lowrider in Flowrider. There you go, Flow skis. Oh, Flo, you're also
Instead,
shit. Are you also in Flowrider? Are you 3 in Florida? I didn't know that. Wait, that's the ocean? Wait. How can you be looking at the ocean? Jude, how can you be looking towards the ocean from Florida and seeing a sunset? Unless I've got my geography entirely wrong. Google Maps. I took it from the beach at a restaurant called Schooners. Well, did you now? Schooners Flowrider. Still doesn't make any sense, dude. Wait. Wait, that does make sense. Of course it does. Okay. I'm 100% having, you know what? This is me sitting with a bad posture. This is a throwback. No. This is me standing with a bad posture, and this is me standing corrected. I was completely wrong. 100% wrong. I thought Flowrider only had a coast on the east side. Yeah, right. Damn, I did not know that. I'm genuinely learning. That's news to me. You're in a totally different hemisphere. I'm in a total different mind frame, dude. Look, there's a coast facing west here, dude. Right. So Flowrider, Tampa, Florida. Yeah, of course, you idiot. It's a peninsula. What an absolute dum-dum. I mean, look, I can't even. There's no way I can escape this. I just messed that up. And I should have known that. Like that's not I don't know what's going on. Can I just I don't know. Bah. The fuck was that noise? It's really windy out here. The house is just settling in the wind. Yeah, I got no excuse. I just sometimes, you don't know stuff. I don't know stuff. Sometimes there's music that pops up and I don't know who they are. Other times you think you know stuff and then the next thing you don't. So yeah, just label me a dum-dum, a big D-U-M. That's going to be weird. D-U-M. I am a weird D-U-M, a dum-dum. And I know there's a B in there and I am the B, the dumb. I'm the B in dumb. I heard a rumor Oz has no West Coast. What? When? When did Australia not have a West Coast? I don't know, dude. I'm sorry. stood corrected, realized I was wrong, moved on, get past it. Now back to Venice.
They slowly mineralize, hardening like stone. How many trees did they use?
12.
Historians estimate over 10 million wooden piles were used across the islands. The wood came from as far as Slovenia and Croatia. Entire forests were sacrificed to raise Venice. Some of these piles
It'll grow back.
still stand under iconic structures, like the Rialto Bridge and St. Mark's Basilica. These piles had varying diameters, ranging from 10 to 25 centimeters, 3.94 to 9.84 inches, and heights from less than 1 meter to a maximum of 3.5 meters, 3.3 to 11.5 feet, with approximately 9 piles driven into the ground per square meter. In addition to the mineralization process, the lagoon's thick layers of clay and mud also play a vital role in preserving the piles. The
Hey,
clay
Flo,
spot-
I didn't realize the water under Venice was so shallow. Neither did I, dude. It's tidal though, right? It's got a tide, comes up and down. Jude, I'm not in Florida, but I visit often. Okay. I've been to Venice twice. Lovely city.
Fine particles have a
Damn.
dense and cohesive structure. This density allows the clay to support the weight of the wooden piles and stone foundations
I am your
without
density.
shifting. Above the wooden piles, the Venetians laid wooden platforms, then topped those with slabs of Istrian stone, a dense limestone from Croatia that's so tough it doesn't crumble in salty air. Moving up the layers of Venice's foundations, we approach the second layer, the stone, brick, and mortar.
It doesn't seem like enough to build a city on, right? We built this city on logs of wood. It doesn't seem like enough. Currently, Venice is building a barrier to hold back rising oceans. Is that right?
The combination of stone, brick, and wood was key to the success of Venetian foundations. Wooden piles provided the needed support to stabilize the foundation.
It's like the Dutch with
while
their
brick
they're not called dams, they're called dikes. Got to give it the correct terminology. It's a dike.
and stone offered the strength and water resistance required to build long-lasting structures.
Much of Amsterdam, at least, well, not much of the Netherlands, including Amsterdam, is under the sea level.
Using the resources available to them, they were able to build a city that has lasted until the present day, despite the constant threat of flooding and the unstable ground beneath it.
Twice my dike comment was deleted. Well, I can say it because it's a dike. Dike, right? It's a dike, which is very common in the Netherlands. Speaking of common, here comes XX Metrics Opal XX on Twitch. How you doing, XX? Yeah, dike. It's a word.
And it worked. For over 1,000 years, this city has stood, even as tides lapped at its feet. Once the base was ready, they started building upward.
You know what? This begs the question. Why hasn't some fucking weird-ass YouTuber gone underneath the city and like made a video of like scuba diving through all the pylons and shit? Surely someone's, I lost my iPhone. Can you go down there and get it? And someone has to go down there and find it or something? Surely, you know?
Venetian buildings were made of bricks, which were lighter than stone and less likely to shift or crack. The final touch? Beauty. While the lower parts of buildings were practical, the upper sections dazzled. Architects and artisans used marble, stucco, mosaics, and frescoes to decorate homes,
Rad.
palaces, and churches. Venice wasn't just built to survive. It was built to impress.
Nice.
One of the oddest things about Venetian homes? No basements, no deep cellars. Everything begins at the foundation, which is why ground floors are often built to be sacrificial. If the water invades, they're the first to flood. That's also why many Venetians traditionally lived on the second and third floors, far from the reach of the rising tides. Venice's buildings are unusually tall for medieval standards because expanding outward wasn't an option. But Venice never stopped moving. She grew island by island, built neighborhood by neighborhood. Venice isn't one landmass, it's 118 islands. each stabilized by its own forest of timber underneath.
Pretty cool.
Venice has always been full of clever surprises hiding just beneath the surface. To get fresh water, Venetians dug wells right into the muddy ground,
No.
using layers of sand and clay to filter rainwater.
What?
So simple, yet so smart.
Wow.
Underneath the grand buildings, they placed wooden piles so close together that it's like a hidden forest holding everything up. But that's just the start. There are secret tunnels, sunken basements, even old crypts down there.
No shit.
Whole hidden levels.
Is there a chance the track could bend? Like at some point, will these logs collapse slowly, like one by one? And the next thing, the whole city is going to tumble?
Most people never get to see. And when it came to burying their loved ones, they got creative again, building floating cemetery islands like San Michele.
Wow.
Even the resting places in Venice float. Venice isn't just beautiful, it's a masterpiece built by hand. Those dreamy canals, they were carefully crafted by engineers who directed the lagoon's waters to shape the city we see today. But time has taken its toll.
Here we go.
Some buildings have started to lean, kind of like a mini Tower of Pisa, because the wooden foundations underneath have shifted over the centuries. And believe it or not, there's no sewer system under the city.
I don't believe it.
For a long time, waste went straight into the canals.
No shit.
But thankfully, modern filtration has stepped in to clean things up. Instead of roads, they built bridges, over 400 of them. The streets are narrow, the
Use the
homes
hole,
tall.
bridge the hole, or
fill the hole. Where we're going, we don't need roads. We're going to Venice. No, sir. We're going back to the future.
Venice was compact by necessity, but stunning by design. By the 12th century,
So hold on a second. Going back to a comment earlier from Dale Skins, if the ocean is rising due to global warming, why isn't Venice screaming about it? Surely that's the first place to go underwater, right? A place that's built on the level of water. Is there something to be said that the ocean isn't actually rising because Venice isn't having a rough time? Just saying.
it had paved squares, campi, cisterns to collect rainwater, and a well-established trade network. Beneath the narrow bridges,
You know what? I cannot handle that without knowing. I need an answer to that. And you know who?
ancient apartments,
Hey, shush. You know who's going to help me? I got news for you. It's the girlfriend that keeps on giving. Chat GPT. It is rising and a lot slower than the lefty liars claim. Is it now? Is it now, Dale? Let's ask someone who actually knows instead of someone who pretends to know on the internet. That's you. And that's me too. Okay, let's ask the most generic of questions. If the ocean levels are rising due to global warming, we don't often hear that phrase anymore, as everyone told us years ago, ! How come we do not hear Venice screaming about being underwater? Surely that city is the first to feel the wrath of global warming. The wrath of it. Dale, just know you're right. Let's see. Searching the web. Great question. And you're right that Venice is one of the places most directly affected by the rising sea levels. But it's not screaming from being underwater yet for a bunch of reasons that blend geography, engineering, and time scales. Rising sea levels are real, but they're gradual. This is what Dale said. So he might have been right. I'm just saying. Sea levels are increasing globally due to thermal expansion of warming ocean water and melting ice sheets, aka global warming. Around the Venetian lagoon, levels have climbed noticeably over the last century, roughly a couple of millimeters per year. That's actually quite a lot. 2 to 3 mil per year. That's enough to make flooding more frequent and severe, but not instantaneous drownings. Think of it as a slow creep over decades, not hours. That's why locals still live there, and the city hasn't vanished as yet. Venice has massive flood defenses. Venice built a huge engineered response called the MOS system, or MOS. It's a set of giant underwater gates at the lagoon's entrance that are raised during the exceptionally high tides to block water coming in from the Adriatic Sea. This system has already been used and greatly reduces the worst flooding for now. It's not perfect and it's expensive, but it does delay the city's submersion. Okay. So let me see some photos. Give me some photos of the millimeter increase every year. I want to see some images, man. I want to see some before and afters, you know? Here it was then, here it is now. Here are some visuals showing how global sea levels have been rising in millimeters over time. The best kind of images we do have to track annual increases. Oh, that's just a chart. I want to see I don't want to see a chart. Show me an actual photo. I want to see that chart. That chart looks fine, but show me an actual image of something that was not underwater before and now is. I mean, there's got to be photos of this, right? It's every year a couple of mil. There's got to be before and afters. Here we go. Coastal flooding in action. These show rising seas and storms combining to make land wetter or submerged more often. No, it doesn't. That's flooding. Is there no before and after photo? Show me, am I not being clear enough? Show me a before and after photo of...
Hello there!
Hello there, Charles. How you doing? We see you there, Toothboy. Of something that was not underwater ever before and now is. That should be pretty clear, right? Photos from the East Coast, US, random junk. Yeah, I mean... Okay, what's this? This is kind of what I wanted. Here's the closest thing to a real before and after image of land being lost to rising seas. In this case, coastal land that was not underwater before has now been inundated over time. This is exactly what I wanted to see. Okay, it's not really... I mean, to start off with, the top image here... Oh, that goes smaller? The hell? I zoomed in on it. The top image here shows plants that are commonly found in waterways. And here they are, again, commonly found in waterways. The same plants, there's more of them. We don't see water in there, though. We don't see water in there. What's this one? Again, that's not showing me something that was dry. Both of those are dry. Both of those are dry, though. So it's circled a bit of land that's dry. I'm sorry, man. This is not compelling at all. Neither of these images is compelling to me. So Dale, just know that you're wrong. I wanted to find out, and I haven't, and it didn't. It hasn't satiated me at all. And therefore, the whole internet's wrong and I'm right about everything. And anything that comes up from now on, I'll also be right about. Just know that. I'm joking, of course.
Lie old Roman-era clay pipes, wells, and drainage systems. Some of these ancient utilities are still being discovered beneath collapsed structures, and when maintenance work uncovers secrets from the past. And beneath the Baroque dome of San Simone Piccolo, legend whispers of sealed tombs and forgotten burials. Some say archaeologists once found skeletal remains left untouched for centuries, resting in the eerie quiet of Venice's flooded underworld. Today, underwater drones and laser scanners are mapping Venice's submerged base in deep.
Flosky, if Lex Luthor would have been succeeded with his plan in 78's Superman, California would have been much smaller. What did he plan to do in that film? I cannot recall.
Detail for the first time. From Roman ruins to cracks in the canal walls, this digital archaeology might be the key to saving the city. In 2020, a team discovered what appeared to be the remnants of a Roman road under the lagoon, a trace of life even before Venice was born. By the 11th century, it had become the gateway between Europe and the East. Salt, once as precious as gold, was one of Venice's first tickets to fortune.
He tried to activate the San Andreas Fault with a huge earthquake to drop half of California into the ocean. That's right. Yeah. The San Andreas Fault, that's the one that runs all the way down to New Zealand, isn't it? Yeah.
But soon came spices, silk, glass, and precious stones. The city created a vast trading empire, stretching from the Adriatic to the Aegean and beyond. At its height, the Republic controlled over 3,000 ships and dozens of ports in the Mediterranean. This wasn't a city anymore. It was a maritime empire.
Could you imagine the stench?
But no empire
Dude.
lasts forever. In
All those years of pumping sewerage into the ocean and just festering there as well.
1797, Napoleon entered Venice without firing a shot. The ancient republic surrendered and was handed over to Austria. For the first time in over 1,000 years, Venice was no longer free. It wasn't until 1866 that Venice joined a unified Italy. But the Venetians are used to fighting the odds. To combat flooding, in 2003, Italian Prime Minister Silvio Berlusconi inaugurated the MOSE project, Modulo Sperimentale Elettromeccanico, 78 gigantic floodgates hidden beneath the sea.
So romantic. Imagine couples wearing gas masks on the boats. Yeah, true.
When tides are predicted to rise above 110 centimeters, 43 inches, the pontoons will be filled with air, causing them to float on the lagoon side while hinged at the seafloor on the seaside, thus blocking the incoming water from the Adriatic Sea.
Whoa.
It's an expensive, controversial, but essential project that began construction in 2003 and was partially operational by 2020. Still, it saved Venice from catastrophic flooding in 2021.
Oh.
Beneath the lagoon, this wall of steel stands as the last line of defense. Yet the danger isn't just natural. Mass tourism, cruise ships, pollution, and climate change all threaten the balance Venice depends on. Venice is sinking at a rate of approximately 1 to 2 millimeters, 0.0.
Wait. Venice is sinking or the water is rising?
0.39 to 0.08 inches per year, primarily due to the natural process of the ground slowly compacting under the weight of the city's buildings.
Wow.
However, over time, the compaction of the soil, combined with human activity like groundwater extraction in the 20th century, has accelerated subsidence.
Jesus.
At the same time, global sea levels are rising due to
Yeah, Venice is also sinking as well as rising sea. Dude, don't buy a place in Venice, man. It's a death trap.
climate change,
Wow.
intensifying Venice's flooding issues. These events become more frequent and severe as sea levels rise, and weather patterns become more unpredictable. So, the next time you sip espresso by a Venetian canal, just remember, beneath your feet is a prehistoric forest, petrified in salt water,
And shit.
holding up marble palaces like a myth that somehow came true. And if you think Venice is the only place hiding secrets below the surface,
Subscribe to our YouTube
Stick
channel.
around on our channel. We're
There's a seamless ad. But speaking of sinking, have you guys seen this? We are sinking. Have you guys seen this?
Das hier ist mein Sektor. Das hier ist das wichtigste Gerät des Küstenwächters. Das Gerät und das Gerät. Überlebensradar.
Mayday, Mayday. Hello, can you hear us? Can you hear us? Can you... Over. We are sinking. We are sinking.
Hello? This is the German Coast Guard.
We are sinking. We're sinking.
What are you thinking about?
Very simple humor. Very simple humor. Speaking of Germans, we had the Germans here and that joke didn't come up, but other jokes did. Let us move on and talk about Toothboy. Why are jeans in an abandoned mine worth hundreds of thousands of dollars? Toothboy, tell us. Hello there.
Jeans found in abandoned mines have recently sold for $100,000, $200,000, and more at auctions and private sales. But why? Why are jeans dirty and discarded hundreds of feet underground?
Hello there. By the way, this content, the jean content, was a big thing on his channel at the beginning. I don't think we've seen a jean episode, like a searching for jeans in the mines for a couple of years, right? But he used to do this often. He would spend days in those mines looking for jeanses.
Worth more than a luxury car. Who are the people that are buying them? Who are the people that are finding them? Why are there
Not you.
jeans in abandoned mines to begin with? These are questions.
Who's taking their pants off while working? I mean, that's the kind of job I want to get.
I have been obsessed with since moving up here to the abandoned mining town of Cerro Gordo over 5 years ago. And in this video, we are going to get to the bottom of it. I am headed to San Francisco to talk to the company historian at Levi Strauss. I'm headed deep into the desert to explore some mines with the most famous denim hunter in the world, and along the way I'm going to stop and talk to people who have personally pulled six-figure jeans out of mines to hopefully learn their secrets. So stay tuned.
How was that slur? To hopefully, he said hopefully learn, but he said to hopefully learn their secrets. Listen.
Six-figure jeans out of mines to hopefully learn their secrets.
Learn.
So stay tuned. We're going to learn all about jeans and abandoned mines.
The Cerro Gordo Strip Club. I could have been their DJ, right?
Strauss.
Mute that song, just in case it's.
There's some similarities.
There's some similarities
here in the abandoned mining town of Cerro Gordo for the past 5 years. And my hope is to bring this town back to life. And a big part of bringing an old mining camp back to life is understanding the history there. And Cerro Gordo was established in 1860 and it went into the 1940s. And if you start researching the history of mining camps in California in the 1860s and the 1870s, inevitably you're going to come across the history of the blue jean as we know it. The original Levi's 501, which was created in 1873 for California silver miners, for railroad workers, for construction guys, you know, a durable work pant. And those pants would revolutionize the world. I believe the 501 would go on to sell over 100 million pairs. It was voted the most iconic piece of fashion in the world. Stars like Marilyn.
It's funny how they call them a pair of jeans. You only, like, there's one, right? I've never bought a pair of them. Marilyn Monroe. Grrr.
Monroe. James Dean,
Grrr.
Patti Smith, all of these people made blue jeans such an iconic piece of American history. And when you have that context, you can understand why collectors of denim specifically, would really want to have the very first iteration of the blue jean as we know it, which was originally created for miners at camps like this. And Cerro Gordo, at its peak, had a population of almost 4,000 people. So you have to imagine there was many miners.
Hey Dale, I see your comment from yours deleted. Some people say Levi's are racist because of the cotton picker connection. AI mod deleted it for hate speech. And now some call jeans racist because of the cotton picker. AI mod's going off on you there, Dale. I'm not. This is a dealer. This is a kick AI mod kicking in here. Yeah, hate speech. I'd be careful. You might be getting yourself into a little trouble there with the AI mod. I'm a bad boy. Yeah.
Up here.
That's crazy, Jude. Yeah, it's a Kick thing. I don't know if you guys can see it in the Kick chat. I mean, the Beamstream chat, it doesn't get through the keeper, but I can, as the streamer, I can see all the comments. And I wouldn't ban that. It's way too sensitive a filter for sure. If anyone knows, can you disable the AI mod from Kick? I mean, wait, here we go. AI chat moderation. There is hang on a second. Let me see. AI chat moderation. It's got a hyperlink, goes out somewhere. It's new. Overall level. Please note maximum will include all filters from minimal and moderation. Unfiltered. I'm gonna choose unfiltered. I just changed it to unfiltered. Dale, go ahead and just repost those messages. I just changed it to unfiltered, and I'm just keen to see if now they come through because I turned them off. There you go.
The very first iteration of Blue Jeans as we know it. And over the years, I know there's documented cases of previous owners of Cerro Gordo finding...
I wasn't being offensive. No, you weren't being offensive to me. You were being offensive to the AI mod. Racist because of the cotton connection. There you go. But you said before, some people say Levi's are racist because of the cotton picker connection. Try typing that exact same phrase. Some people say Levi's are racist because of the cotton picker connection.
These original Levi jeans up here. We'll hear a story about that later on. And for me, after I moved here and I learned this, it was exciting. It was a treasure hunt. You know, I spent a lot of my time during the pandemic exploring abandoned mines.
No, dude, it did it again. Some people say Levi's are racist because of the cotton picker connection. Deleted. AI mod. Hate speech. What? I turned that off, man. I literally, dude, I'm going to show it to you. I'm going to show you what
Levi's.
Hey, keep it down. Here is my moderation tool in AI moderation. It's a new thing. Message moderation. Overall level, it was on custom. That's what it was before, and I chose unfiltered. I chose unfiltered, and I saved it. You can tell that I saved it because save changes is grayed out. There is some banned words there that I'm just not going to display, but I did that. That's the message moderation. What about access? Banned users. I'm glad I just took that off. Display. Look at this. Preferences. Allow viewers to post links in the chat. Show lifetime gifted sub leaderboard. Chat rules. Don't be a dick. That's mine, I think. I guess you can't say that word. Cotton or picker. You can't say picker. Message moderation. Have I got a word? Hate speech. No, I haven't got. No, I haven't got a banned word there for that. Weird, man. It is what it is, though. 2026.
And after about a year and a half, I finally found some Levi's 400 feet underground in the main Union mine here. Unfortunately, it was in a level that was very wet, and it was basically just a shredded pile of cloth with some buttons that said Levi Strauss. And in the 4+ years since, I have struck out in finding any more Levi's. I have found buttons, I have found rivets, but there has been no more pants. But along this journey, I have met some very interesting people who are in...
Boop, boop. There's always a way around censorship, just got to be creative. Yeah. I mean, like I turned it all off, but there you go. There is obviously still some censorship going on there from the mod.
Involved with the denim collection or the history of denim that can tell the story of the original Blue Jeans much better than I can. Starting with Tracy Pennock, who is the company historian at Levi Strauss. And so first, we are going to head up to San Francisco, the
So,
place where
so you're saying that the word cotton picker is banned. Let me just see if I can type it in Kik myself.
the blue jean as we know it was first created.
I can type it.
Today,
No one
we're
else
gonna
can,
get some answers to why Levi's and why miners. Because today I'm in San Francisco and we are headed in to Levi's corporate to talk to Tracy, who is
I can say
the
it. That's gonna be
historian
weird.
at Levi's.
That's a bit weird, yeah.
To get the full story on what's the deal with the Levi's and the miners. I'm excited. We're going to possibly see the archives of some of the oldest Levi's in existence. So stay tuned. We're going to get some answers.
I'm Tracy Panic, historian at Levi Strauss & Company and director of the archives. And today we're in a temporary archive space because we're in the middle of construction. We're going to be moving into a new archives in a few months, and we're super excited, but we have some fun things to show you. The story of Levi Strauss & Company is really an American story. It begins with an immigrant to the United States, Levi Strauss. He's from Germany. He's the youngest son in a Jewish family, and there aren't many opportunities. So when his father passes away, his mother and sisters immigrate to the U.S. and
Cocksucker.
and they come first to New York.
Apparently that word's okay. Cocksucker. Yikes, Charles.
But then they hear the call of the gold rush, and Levi decides to set out for San Francisco. He's already had a couple of years as a trainee, if you will, under his older brothers, learning about the dry goods business and what that means, who the customers are, what kinds of things they need. And this gives him some great insight when he leaves in 1853 and comes to San Francisco.
So this begs the question, if Levi Strauss made the first set of Levi jeans, what were people wearing before that? There must have been another version of them that just didn't take off as strong as the 501s did, right? Or was denim not even invented? Did Levi invent denim?
It's about a 1-month journey. He comes by steamship, and one of the first things he does when he arrives is to find a warehouse, a space where he can keep goods, because he has planned with his brothers that a ship full of supplies will come, and he's going to set up a dry goods business right away. And he was able to set this business up under his own name. It would become Levi Strauss & Company. In the first 10 to 20 years, he became incredibly successful for a businessman. He is a wholesaler. He is selling to retailers who are supplying the mines that have cropped up all around.
It's a good topic, the history of denim. I mean, it's interesting. I've never really even thought about it, but I mean, fabrics and clothing is kind of an interesting topic, isn't it? We all just sort of take it for granted that we wear clothing, but someone had to come up with the concept of like, why is a t-shirt so cozy and comfortable, and like, why are jeans, so good to wear? Like a good pair of jeans, man. I get upset when I've got to throw a good pair of jeans away. Yeah, it's kind of strange. I mean, I've never been a fan of the overalls, but I can sort of see, in certain industries, they're safety wear, right? Yeah, it's kind of cool.
During the gold rush, he sells to little small shops that need to supply
pants made from burlap. Right on. Yeah, Charles.
To the area, and he does very well for those first 20 years. He wouldn't know it at the time, but later on, in 1872, when he gets a letter, and the company receives a letter from one of Levi's customers. He's a tailor living in Reno, Nevada. He writes a letter. He orders some supplies. He's a tailor. He needs fabric and thread and whatever other supplies. And in that letter, he also writes about a tiny but important innovation, adding little tiny bits of metal to the pockets and other points of strain on a pair of pants. That little innovation, this tailor, whose name is Jacob Davis, has created this incredibly durable pair of pants, so they don't tear when you're putting your hands in and out of the pants or in other
she's talking about the pockets and where the little button holds the shit together. Yeah, okay. I never even considered that. Canvas, like sails. Yeah, true. Sail.
And he's been selling these like hotcakes. But it's through word of mouth.
Studs, right?
And he knows he can't keep up with the demand. So he's looking for a partner to help him. And in the letter, he invites the company, Levi and the company, to take out a patent for this process so no one else will.
Isn't hemp kind of like a more recent discovery for fabric? I feel like that's kind of more in the last like 15, 20 years.
Take the idea that he had, this innovation of riveting.
Hemp clothing I know it's a thing, but I feel like it's a kind of a more recent thing. Charles says no. Oh, okay. I've only really heard of it sort of semi-recently in the last 10 years, I'd say. Hemp was outlawed in the US for many years. Well, Dale says it's not. I remember I had a hemp T-shirt when I was a kid. It was always a bit funny, like, I'm wearing marijuana.
That's going to be weird.
That is going to be weird. No, you weren't wearing marijuana. You were wearing a byproduct of the marijuana plant.
Have a partner who can help him manufacture and then sell, distribute, whatever it is. So Levi, the company, agree in 1873, May 20th, 1873. In fact, a U.S. patent is granted, and it's called an improvement in fastening pocket openings.
An improvement. Rope is hemp. Wow. Depending on if it's hemp rope. I mean, you can get synthetic ropes as well. They made rope out of hemp before cotton. Yeah, well, okay. Okay. I was wrong again. I was wrong.
And we refer to it as the birth of the modern blue jean, or the 501, as this pant will be called. It was made as a workwear product. It was called overalls because it was intended to go over your clothing or your long underwear. So it was, the idea was it was a protective outer layer.
Overalls goes over everything. They used to make stuff out of hemp commonly in the late 1700s and 1800s. It's a high quality stuff. Hemp paper is awesome, for example. Right. Yeah, right. So they've been using marijuana, that plant, for a long, long time.
That would change, but the pant itself wouldn't change much in terms of the design. But it was blue collar workers' garments. Blue collar, a reference to the denim. It would have been pretty common for the mining company to have uniforms for their workers to come in, and a mudroom where they would hang on a wall. And when you came in to do your shift, you would pull on your overalls, your Levi's, and then at the end of a shift, take them off, head on home. And the Levi's could be worn by more than one person. They might be different sizes, which was actually perfect because we advertised having a full cut, so it could fit a range of people. You just tighten the cinch at the back. So why were they in
So you didn't need to wear a belt in the original era? Is that what she's saying? Because I mean, I've got to wear a belt whenever I wear jeans because they never quite fit exactly. Flosky, I worked for a paper company years ago. Paper used to be far higher quality in the past, mostly sucks now. The quality of paper has changed? Right, okay. I didn't even, I mean, it comes from the paper tree, right? Paper bark.
Because the miners would have worn them there, and they were probably being stored there.
And when it comes to dating a pair of Levi's that you guys get in the door, how do you even begin that process?
Well, we're lucky that we have design elements and branding elements. The company has always been very savvy about its branding. And you can look at a pair of Levi's, and the denim, we know the kind of twill it is.
It's pretty intriguing. Flosky, like many products, people want cheaper crap from China, so factories disappear and the quality degrades. Right, yeah. It's made from wood pulp. That's right, yeah, pulp of wood. Water and, yeah,
But
wood.
it's more important, the markings. The rivets in particular, those tiny little rivets that we added to the pockets, they actually have imprint on them. In fact, I think it's a perfect time to actually pull out yours and we can
take your pants off.
Talk about that. You want to take a look?
Yeah, absolutely.
So these are all things that we found at Cerro Gordo, whether it was during a metal detecting event or me down in the mines with the one piece of fabric. But the rivets you were just mentioning, here's a few of them. And so I'd love an idea of maybe how old these might be.
Yeah, okay, so this is the rivet. This is the front and the back side. You can see the little nipple part, if you will, that's going to be at the top of the garment, and then there's the back side there, which is kind of flat. You have to look really closely, but on there it says LS and Co. SF, so LS and Co. Levi Strauss and Company, SF for San Francisco, and then right after that, May. Okay, it's coming around here. May 1873.
Whoa.
So you have a rivet.
1873. My toilet paper recently changes, even softer and stronger. Quilted Northern Ultra Plush. So, sounds like you want to use it for more than just wiping your ass.
Here from a garment that is before 1890.
Wow.
And how do I know that? Because in about 1890, the patent expired, and we no longer had that patent date on the rivets.
Right.
So weren't we clever?
Tushy is pampered.
The date, so that if all you had was this little bit, I could tell you what era it's from.
Wow. That's evident that the miners at Cerro Gordo, from the very beginning of Levi's existing, were probably wearing Levi's from pretty early on.
At Cerro Gordo, they were wearing Levi's that could have been as early as 1873, all the way up until about 1890.
Yeah.
So early in the mine's history, they're wearing Levi's. I'm not surprised.
That's so cool. Yeah. All right. What a trip.
That was pretty cool, right? I'm not making light of that. That was pretty cool to hear the history and to have someone else that's not him explain it. And obviously she's the one, the source, right? That was pretty cool.
And what a learning experience here at Levi's. That was awesome. To be able to see the oldest pair, learn all the history. I'm excited. And it's got me thinking more about what might be around Cerro Gordo and elsewhere. So we're gonna head back that way, continue on this journey.
Just mute that in case it's a copyrighted song. He does do that often. Little transition here.
Next on this journey to understand the wild world of denim buried underground, I am on a road trip to meet up with probably the most famous, infamous, eccentric, respected, wild man in this entire space, Britt Eaton. Britt, otherwise known as Indiana Jeans, after the New York Times called him that a number of years ago.
Of course, there's some dude out there who's got a shtick just for finding jeans. This guy, Indiana Jeans, this is his whole thing. Of course there is. There's a dude out there, or a dudette for everything, isn't there? There's a guy who's been spending his whole life pursuing these jeanses. Crazy.
Somebody who has spent decades digging around abandoned mines,
of course he did,
dusty old barns, basements, wherever he can to get his hands on old denim. And Britt has found many hundreds of pieces of 1800s denim in his day. He has found millions of dollars worth of old fabric in his time. And Britt has been featured on pretty much every major news publication in the world.
Without having seen this, I can almost see how this goes. I reckon when Brett Underwood, Toothboy, asks him, where did you find your most valued pair of Levi's? I reckon he's going to say in an op shop, or a head shop as you guys call it. I reckon that's what he'll say, a thrift store. I don't reckon he found them underground. I reckon he found them in an op shop.
He had a show on the Discovery Channel called Ghost Town Gold for a while, and I originally met Britt in 2019 when he was up at Cerro Gordo filming a show called The World According to Jeff Goldblum with Jeff Goldblum. Him and Jeff were up in town to talk about the history of denim, and that moment is kind of what first seeded this idea that, hey, there's jeans in mines, and there's a lot of history to them, and they can be very valuable. And 5-6 years later, it's really special for me to be on this trip, to meet up with Britt, to explore looking for jeans. If you watched my TikToks in early pandemic, you know that almost every video would feature me saying, I'm looking for jeans in abandoned mines. And now, to actually be going exploring with the guy who originally kind of put that idea in my head is really special.
quite the sandstorm we got on the way out to see Britt. We're in the west. And we're trekking along towards Denham.
A road trip with Toothboy. Oh, there.
Pulling some late hours out here. We're getting closer. And I think the plan for tomorrow is Britt knows a local...
Flowski, many famous YouTubers are getting way less views these days. I wonder how he's doing. It's funny you should say that. I've been getting more views than I have in the last little while. My views are up, but I have heard this, and I've also heard that YouTube is finally cracking down on the AI-generated rubbish that we see so much of. They're devaluing anything that's AI-generated. They're not promoting it, thankfully. I still believe that AI-generated content should be on a separate partition. You know, it should be like YouTube.ai, and so to see that, you have to go to a different website. That's be nice. I click away the second I detect AI junk. Me too. I'm over that, and I don't think that it's fair that AI-generated content is permissible to compete with the actual creators that are real people creating content. We shouldn't have to compete with a robot. You know, you're never going to win against a robot. So why should they be on the same platform? They should be separated, I feel.
Explorer out here named Jeremy. And Jeremy spent a lot of time scouting out this whole area. He has an area that he's very excited about.
Jeremy.
It's a very remote area, which is exciting to me. And Britt is out at a different mine currently, so I'm going to get into the town, meet up with Jeremy, probably develop a plan for tomorrow, get some sleep.
There are lawsuits in the US over AI stealing creator content without permission. I mean, the biggest thing that I see is like, you know, I use the ChatGPT. Like I did this before where we pulled down, where is it? We pulled this down, Venice, right? We talked about Venice. So that actually, I could create a video based upon this question and just get AI to generate the content and say, convert my question and the answer into a 8-minute YouTube video with video and diagrams, and have Tom Hanks read it in Tom Hanks's voice, and then also upload that to YouTube to my monetized channel and give it a thumbnail and a compelling title. That's not fair, right? Like that's not creative. That's not compelling. But yet that's what's parading over YouTube. And you see it with like the most obvious is the news, the content that's popping because it's current news events, such as the shark attacks in Australia. Like there's so many different varieties of shark attack stories that are all mishmashed together of the one story, and it'll have images that are from a shark attack 4 years earlier, and it'll be in the thumbnail, and it'll be in the title, and it's all just obviously AI done, but it's just everywhere you look. It's awful. Like, and yeah, we shouldn't have to compete against that. Like, I'm not saying that it shouldn't exist, but it definitely shouldn't be upfront on the same platform as me, an actual real creator trying to create content. That shouldn't be the case at all.
If Britt's still out this late mine exploring, sounds like he does some late nights, which I'm all about. So getting close. Yeah,
Flowski, I use AI for boring to me technical stuff, but not for creative visual. Yeah, dude, I use it for thumbnails for my YouTube. For my YouTube uploads, I definitely use create a thumbnail based upon this image for sure. I use it to generate the YouTube tags. So create me, based upon a live stream called Toothboy React, generate 500 characters of best SEO YouTube tags. I definitely use it for that shit. But as far as like make me an entire video based upon this AI generated question, that's not fair, man. Like that's lame, right? And thankfully YouTube is cracking down on it. Good point. I've used it for filler images in a blog, not for writing, for example. Yeah. It's the AI that I use, like ChatGPT and sometimes Copilot and sometimes Gemini, all three of them are horrible for creating an image based upon a certain width. Like if you say, create me a thumbnail and use this image as the source image, and I need it to be 1280 by 720, it never, ever does it correctly, ever. Not once have I had it actually generate me an image 1280 by 720. And then just recently, as in the last 2 days, something's going wrong with Siri, the Apple assistant. It's not even AI, is it? But I used to be able to get the Bitcoin price. Hey Siri, what's the Bitcoin price in USD?
I found some web results. I can show them if you ask again from your iPhone.
It used to read out the price, and I used to personally, the last thing I did before going to sleep, laying in bed, roll over, ask it, hey Shlomo, what's the Bitcoin price in USD? And it would tell me Bitcoin is trading at $79,865 according to Yahoo Finance. Now it doesn't do that. And when I'm listening to a podcast and I'm having a shit and I'm listening to a podcast in my bathroom on the little small HomePod, nothing I do, like volume up, volume down, nothing, no pause, nothing. It just says, I ask it to...
That's going to be weird.
That is going to be weird. I ask it to, hey Siri, volume up. It'll say fast forwarding.
Okay, media will play louder.
So that did it here, but I'm saying in the small ones in my bathroom, it'll always say pausing the bathroom. I'm like, no, I didn't say pause. Fuck. So someone's done something in the back end, not my back end.
All right, day one, and I'm geared up, and I think we have a plan, or as much of a plan as you can have going into these mine explorations. So I'm gonna go downstairs, jump in the car with Britt, talk to him kind of about his experiences in mines and genes on the way out, and hopefully find some cool stuff ourselves.
I was on an educational voyage in 1990 called Semester at Sea. Right?
There's another reason not to use an iPhone. I've been using an iPhone since 2005. I'm not going anywhere.
I had the fortune to go all over the world on a ship, and people were from all the other countries too. So you're with people from other countries while you're visiting other countries, right? Holy shit, look at that freaking boat out there. Dude, I'm sorry, Brent, but look at that boat. How random is that?
A boat in the desert.
And I was just talking about being on a boat.
Yeah. It's a sign. It's going to be a good day. We're finding some jeans today.
Yeah. I want to go get the boat. Forget about the jeans. I want to park that in my yard and put it up there at Cerro Gordo for a B&B. It could be Britt's boat. And whenever I come, I could stay in it. But otherwise, you rent it for other people, you know?
Deal.
You know, this reminds me of something, and I know we're getting off course. But when I was up filming at Cerro Gordo with Jeff Goldblum, the producers came to me before Jeff showed up, and he's like, look, Jeff's flying in today, we want to talk to you about it. I'm like, oh, okay. Jeff has a tendency to get distracted, they say. So it's your job to control his ADD and keep him on course. And I just laughed. I'm like, dude, you're asking the wrong guy. You got the wrong guy. So anyway, what was the question? Oh, yeah.
Dude, bless your heart. I prefer Android. If someone gave me an iPhone, I'd just sell it. Fair enough. I'm deep in the Apple ecosystem, though. I'm an Apple guy, so...
The jeans thing.
Yep.
I was on this Semester at Sea trip, and I met all these guys, and some of the Norwegian guys were like, hey, you got to show up here with bring some old Harley Davidson motorcycles over here. You can sell them for like quadruple what they're worth in these States, because if you bring over classics, like if they're 30 years old or older.
Watched a great movie with Jeff Goldblum, Independence Day. That's a golden oldie, isn't it? 1996, wow.
You don't have to pay any luxury tax. Otherwise, luxury tax crippling in a lot of these European countries. So I did that for a couple years. I exported Harley Davidsons, and I'd ride them around, sell them. I fixed them up. I actually kind of self-taught myself how to repair motorcycles.
Flowski, I'd use an independent Linux phone if they became more usable and commonplace. I didn't even know they were a thing. I'd use a Trump phone if he ever made one. What about the Trump phone? What happened to that?
Books, and I didn't grow up in like a biker gang family or something. And then, I went over there on my second trip, and I had 3 Harley Davidsons, but I was kind of an alcoholic, and I fell in a well and broke my ribs. And these were all old Kickstart Harleys. So I did permanent damage to my ribs kickstarting these motorcycles while I had broken ribs.
There's a few privacy concerned. Privacy concerned companies that are trying to make them, but they haven't really taken off. Yeah. I mean, it's going to be a pretty hard sell, because who did that on DLive? Jake, thanks for the host, man. The iPhone revolutionized mobile communications. So for someone to come into that market with a better version, however better it is, and in whatever way it's better, it's going to be a tough sell. I'm not saying it can't be done. It's definitely the time for someone to do it. But I mean, the iPhone's been sort of like the forefront for a long, or since it came out in 2002 or whatever. It's been up there. Not saying that there's not better phones, but they all basically operate the same as an iPhone. That's the standard. For someone to change it and do better, that's going to be a tough sell, but someone could do it. I want a bat phone. Yeah. I just want one that doesn't listen to everything I did. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's tracking you for sure. Phones work fine, but I think not many carriers support them. Okay. TrumpMobile.com. But that's the thing. This has been talked of forever, Charles. I know about that website. I know about the Trump phone, but he's just talked it up and done jack shit about it. Kind of like his crypto policies, talked it all up and didn't do anything.
And, you don't have
Bitcoin strategic reserve, but he's not going to buy the Bitcoin. They're going to just use confiscated Bitcoin. You know what would help the market? If they bought it. Just saying.
A pair of Levi's. So they wanted Levi's also, so I started exporting Levi's. The reason that I'm not, afraid, or I don't have reservations about being on camera talking about mine exploring, is because it's such a wild goose chase that I don't mind if everybody watching this goes and looks for genes in mines, because they're not going to find any. I mostly don't find any, and I find more than anybody, and I don't find anything. It's almost impossible to find genes in mines.
Not really selling it to us, buddy.
There's a great book by Larry McMurtry, who did Lonesome Dove, and the book's called Cadillac Jack. It's Cadillac Jack. Cadillac Jack's mantra is anything can be anywhere at any time. I feel exactly the same. In general, when you're down in a mine and you see the candle wax all over, you're like, oh man, this is an old place. These are the old workings. Although a lot of these mines have been reworked. So, you have to kind of get through the modern stuff to get into the places where the older stuff is. I think the main thing about mines, and again, anything can be anywhere, anytime, but if any Tom, Dick, and Harry could just walk right into and at it in the side of a mountain, there's probably not going to be anything left.
Flowski, I think it'd be cool if there were smaller companies besides Android and Apple making stuff, especially if all the carriers supported them via some anti-monopoly law. Yeah, and you know what that would also do? That would breed a lot more innovation, a lot more creativity. For sure, I agree with that. And personally, for me, if someone did do that and they made a smaller phone, like I think I'm over the size of this. The camera is so slick and so rad though. If you could put this camera into a smaller form factor, I'd probably go back down on size. And I don't care for the AI stuff, really. Don't really need it. Need a new screen though. Better privacy, less AI crap option. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I agree with you, man.
Anymore.
Totally.
You're going to find some modern trash, maybe. I look for places that are hard to access, that are in remote places where you're not going to see any other humans. I mean, to me, that's the best part of this, is just being out. And it's just like a fishing trip or a hunting trip, I'm just hunting something different.
None of us actually like the AI crap. I mean...
Dude, I got a high risk tolerance, but this one is just terrible.
I haven't seen a good usage of it yet, like it's not really compelling at this point. And I'm not saying it won't be, but at this stage, it's not really hitting me.
Terrible, because look how big the workings were. This is definitely the place to go find something, but it's just horrible. Absolutely horrible.
Yep. The loose rock falling in, you got timbers falling in, you got big slats over there. Just a real dangerous situation.
My exploring, heavy on everything except actual exploring. Heavy on...
Flowski, I don't mind going to a website to ask AI a question, but I'm not going to trust it built into phones and operating systems. I mean, yeah, people are like that. I know that. I know people. Some people are very privacy minded. I get it.
This guy that I know who's been doing vintage clothing and Levi's. He's been in the Levi game since the 1980s, late 1980s. He's got a store in Boise. He went to Cerro Gordo probably around 2010. The owner called him and he got like 10 pairs of pre-1920s Levi's, which I hate to tell you is probably why you're not finding anything there, because they combed it really good at that point.
There's any Levi's left at Cerro Gordo?
100%. 100% there's Levi's left at Cerro Gordo. So the oldest pair of Levi's were in my possession for a very short period of time. I don't know exactly where they were found, because my friend who found them, for me to ask him, hey, where'd you find them, is not a question I would ask him. What? It'd be like asking a cowboy who has cattle, hey, how many head of cattle you have, or how much land do you have? There's certain questions you just don't ask. Ask me no secrets, and I shall tell you no lies.
Wow. Is that because there's more there? I didn't know it was that secretive.
Hello, my name is Jeremy. I'm from Yuma, Arizona, and I'm a mine explorer. I've been exploring for about approximately 15 years, but using ropes about 3 years. Explore all over Arizona. I've been fortunate enough to find jeans a few different times. 2 different mines I've found approximately like 12 pairs altogether, which is, I guess, a rarity, but I've been lucky. Today I'm showing Britt and Brent around, showing them some, as you can see, some very...
It's like asking, where did you find that 10 kilo gold nugget? Yeah, true. Yeah, I want to go back and get the other 10.
Gear places that are hard to get to, and definitely 4-wheel drive all the way here.
Proven tune. Wow, probably going to get dinged for that. All these songs, they're copyrighted usually, and I always have to erase them later. I've got to go through each time after a stream and go, yeah, just erase that bit. I'll just do it now.
This means that they're kind of going along this level and doing that. So and here we're getting down. Finally, it feels like we're kind of on some good paths. You know, that's where they had some chutes coming down. The track's still there. So, or we've been shooting out of this cart down on the tracks, going somewhere. Seems like that first one's gonna be our one. We're gonna rappel down, hopefully get to these lower levels. You can see this would have been another shoot to the lower level before. Britt told me sometimes he sees stuff shoved into the timbers, so oh, there's a can.
Budweiser.
Looking up there too, some real old timbers. A copper mine. You can see kind of the staining. You can see the cut. So I'm pretty sure this is a copper mine. I don't know for sure, but that's what it seemed like to me. This is exciting. I think that over here is maybe our best start to this whole thing. So we'll go down here, see what happens.
Here we go, yo.
Yep, look down below too.
Keep on going, huh?
Keeps going.
Actually, this is all candle wax here.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
I think so, right? What else would it be?
Yeah.
Like a bat can't poop upside down, I don't think.
There's unlimited digging potential in this mine too. Look
Yeah.
right there. Is that a shoebox?
It's like a metal tin. This is going to be Artifact City in this place. And if you dig,
yeah,
nobody's done, I don't think. There, this is Gant. Now, this isn't that great. That's like 20s.
Okay.
No bueno, amigo. I'd say more like 30s on that guy. Where the clothing? So when you have a mine like this where it's more modern, I'd say.
Yeah.
Then it's not the only thing worth anything is clothes. Or sometimes old oil cans. They use a lot of oils in mines for the
for different reasons. This is probably an oil can here, but I can't tell.
Yeah.
You would have to grease the bearings on all the hoists and shit and all the war cars. What is this? I'm thinking it says Belmont, maybe?
It's an iPad.
Del Monte?
From the
It's a really
20s.
old box piece.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I think it's tomatoes. I think it's Del Monte tomatoes.
Oh, that's cool.
You see it?
Yeah.
So far, what we're seeing is 20s.
He's saying
Oh, look at this.
the 1920s, right?
Oh.
Look at this little thing. It says something about shoes. So if I can see, oh my God, look at that guy. Dude, this is 40s. Look at this guy. You can tell how old it is by the dude in the picture.
Be careful with it, man.
I can see it. So probably was remined at some point, you know?
Yeah.
Well, that could have been, look, like this beer thing. This could have been just explorers coming in too, you know? And
yeah.
Of course, got to explore with a carton of beer.
Not a lot of evidence of other people in here, other minor explorers.
Yeah.
Which is really a good thing. Look at all this stuff.
It keeps going back a ways, too.
I mean, all this stuff, and it's a lot of mine, all this shit's gone already. Like every little souvenir piece, you know?
Yep.
Not explored much, I can tell you that much. That would be my 3D assessment of this place. Anyway, so I was looking for a piece of wood to write an arrow on so I could direct myself out. So I pick up this piece of wood to write an arrow on. And I'm looking at this, I'm like, this is pretty cool wood. I wonder if this is a dynamite box or a candle box. I turn it over, and it has a hand-drawn hand. And it says to Mitzpah. Somebody else had done the same thing, but in like 1915.
Oh, that's cool.
This is really old shit right here. Dude, if this had its graphics on it, this oil can, I mean, it could potentially still have some paint that works. This is probably 1920s oil can. And some of these go for crazy money.
Mr. India, I don't want to excite you. I think I see some denim.
Uh-oh. Oh.
Right?
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Look at Brent Underwood. I think it's a scrap, but let's see. It's just a teeny little leg piece.
Oh.
But it is old and it is a clue.
And there's denim.
There's denim. It's a leg of a... just right off this get-go,
Sweatband?
probably-
A headband?
Yeah, it looks like a carpenter pant or an overall. Probably 1930s. Fun little souvenir thing. But good evidence. Maybe something...
Wait. Evidence that they wore jeans? We knew that they wore jeans down there. You don't want evidence of them wearing jeans. You want the jeans.
Footprints now.
Yeah, somebody's in there.
Let me see.
That's an air mask from...
Oh, yeah. That's
Dude, this
cool.
place is fucking killer. I mean, look. Let's just see. Do we see any footprints at all? Nothing. No one's been in here for years. Look what happens when I step here.
Yeah, it's like the moon.
Oh, shit. You can see the print. And nothing this way. Bill. And that's the minor stuff. That's not from explorers.
Yeah.
This is a very unexplored mine. I know this is a very unexplored mine because first we haven't seen...
That's a good point, Flo. I can't think really of a scenario when someone would take off their jeans in a cave and come out without their pants on. Well, as that Levi Strauss woman was saying, they're called overalls because they were worn over everything else. So before you start your shift, you'd walk in and put on your overalls over the top. That's why they then took them off at the end of the shift. That's what the theory is anyway.
Any modern trash. We haven't seen any footprints. And another thing, mine explorers, a lot of guys like to leave some sort of something to let the other guys know they're here, whether it's a business card or a note or just something scribbled in chalk or a funny face or something.
That's called tagging.
More cans.
Interesting. I missed that. Yeah, she said that's what they were.
We're
Yeah.
gonna find some clothes in here, man. I'm telling you.
Hell yeah.
We are.
A shovel.
See him?
Where's no? So there you go.
Oh yeah, there's the whoa.
In the storm.
Look at that ladder. Whoa.
That was cool.
Great ladder. Big one. Jeremy's a big bottle guy.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh, look at those boxes.
Yeah, it's great looking boxes, but am I
Big
wrong?
bat.
It looks like someone's ripped some out,
Yeah, it does.
right?
Yeah.
That's a really nice box end right there. Not super early though.
Yeah, there seems to be a lot in here compared to Cerro Gordo.
Whoa, what's this? No, you see this thing?
From like a stamp belly thing?
Crazy. The floors were in the 60s. I don't think they were fixing up clothes. That's for sure. Oh, wow, look at this, man. Look at that picture on there.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, the eagle.
Yeah, and the air is getting warm.
The air is getting warm down there. Must be getting close to the outside. I think it'll be cold down there, right?
Whoa. All right, we're wrapping up here. It's after dark and no clothes today. There are scraps of denim, which always gives us a little bit of hope. But Britt, what do you
Hopes
think
for
on
the
day?
hopeless.
Oh, man. Not a great day. Like, I mean, we got into some places that we really looked great, but as usual, they just kick you in the head and kick you in the ass, and you end up with nothing. The bottom line is I'm alive, I'm well. We're all alive and well, except for Jeremy. He's still down there. Wolf, sorry, I'm supposed to call him Wolf. The stars are out. It's a beautiful, serene evening here in Mexico. And, you know, we're doing good.
They're in Mexico? I missed that part.
All right, this denim road trip continues, and yesterday was a lot of fun with Britt, going in the mines, kind of seeing how he approaches finding genes, you know, hearing his thoughts about the future of, you know, gene exploration. And today I am on the road to go somewhere where I know that I will see 1,800 Levi's.
The museum?
Abandoned mine. And that place is called Castle Dome, which is in Arizona in Yuma County. And Castle Dome has a lot of similarities to Cerro Gordo.
A lot of similarities.
And Castle Dome has a lot of similarities to Cerro Gordo.
So he can say the word similarities, he just didn't that time.
Arizona
That one
in
time.
Yuma County. And Castle Dome has a lot of similarities to Cerro Gordo. Castle Dome was established in the 1860s. They were primarily mining galena, which is a silver and lead ore. The town peaked at about 3,000 residents. And it was mined all the way into the 1940s, some activity even into the 1970s. And in 1994, a guy named Allen bought the town.
Allen.
30 years, he's been on a mission to restore and rebuild a lot of the buildings in this town. And so from my understanding, there's over 50 buildings now up there, all sorts of cool things. And so I think personally on a level of I own a mine and he owns a mine, I am very curious to see things I can learn from Allen after 30 years of living or owning an abandoned mining town. But as far as denim, there were some explorers that went out there in 2020. It's a guy named Frank out of British Columbia. He went to Castle Dome about 5 years ago now, and he found 8 total pairs of pants from the 1800s. And 3 of these pairs were Levi Strauss, and they report this haul to be worth $500,000.
Jesus.
And this is one of my very first remembrances, at least, of people finding these jeans after I kind of been bitten by the
500
bug.
grand.
And I've met Frank since then. You know, I've talked to him.
Crikey.
And I am very curious now to actually go and see these jeans that I've seen online in videos and hopefully hold them myself and
maybe I can get some of the good karma from them and talk to Alan both about what it's like to own an abandoned mining town for that long, as well as if he thinks that there's any more denim out there in his mines, or maybe some tips he has for me for finding some back in Cerro Gordo. So another fun day ahead, and stay tuned because we're finally going to see and hear more about some Levi's that were found in abandoned mines. All right, we're entering Castle Dome. He's done a pretty good job of making these buildings look like they've been here a while. So here we are inside of Castle Dome, and it's so cool. The kind of the experience that Alan's able to create here with just these buildings, you know, giving the feel of what it was, having different things in each one of them. And we'll go on the mine tour a little bit and see some really cool stuff. But we're going to take a look out here, and then hopefully Alan can explain a little bit more about the genes that we have around here. It says, when a miner died in a mine, his boots were hung upside down on a rafter nearest to where his soul left his body. Thus, he was remembered. This boot was found in the Flora Temple mine in a semi-caved-in area. The miner's name is unknown to us, and he is buried in the Castle Dome graveyard. I didn't know that. Now I have to be on the lookout for boots in mines. It's just so incredible, the effort and the intention, you know, that Alan's been able to do here. As somebody who has, you know, has a mining town of his own, I know how hard all this is to do. And it's just truly impressive what's around here. Every building is so well curated and has great stuff in it.
I'm Alan Armstrong. I'm the founder and CEO of Castle Dome Museum. Stephanie and I were looking for a project in '93. We were trying to find some place out in the desert, and we stopped at Hidden Shores at the gas station. You got any mines? And the guy pointed to a guy sitting on a bench, and he said, yeah, he's the guy. I went over and talked to him, and we'd been down the mine the year before, so I knew exactly where the property is. A 100-foot level is drill bit stuck in the wall. And so we bought this first property for $5,000 on a Subaru, 83 Subaru. Then we started finding so much stuff in the desert out here. The local mine guys said you can have anything you wanted. They were cleaning up out here. So we ended up getting enough stuff, and we said, we got enough stuff for a nice museum. And that's how it started. We opened the museum in '98. Well, there's about 80 buildings here. There's 6 saloons, hotel, church, sheriff's office, machine shop, assay shops, a couple blacksmith shops, underground museum, and dentist office, Dr. Onson's. Castle Dome, I heard there was walls of fire here. And I thought, then I'd seen calcite and a little fluorite, red and blue, and then I had no idea if it was really the way they described the walls of fire. And then when we ended up getting the Hull mine, we discovered that there was about 50 minerals that fluoresced in a certain area.
Wow.
And we were able to light them up, and you were able to see the wall. It's the most colorful wall ever discovered. And it's so colorful that it's like we showed pictures to Sterling Hill, the capital of fluorescence in the world. They said we had no idea anything like this existed in the world. And it's that special. It's a very unique location where all the combinations came together for all these minerals to be activated, because you can find some minerals that won't even fluoresce the same kind. Calcite, it'll be on top, oh, this is going to be beautiful. It doesn't even have an activator to fluoresce. And everything's there to make it work. It is a place where people can come and experience a walk back in time. It's a complete of what there was and what there is and what it was like.
Show us the
and
genes.
You can walk and you can immerse yourself in the history inside the buildings. And the mine tour is very comfortable. We drive in there. It's paved. It's got stamped concrete.
Wow.
And it's the most colorful wall, and it's climate controlled. And people love it in there. What's kind of neat when you have one of the oldest mining districts in Arizona, the potential for finding clothing becomes even better. And when it's dry climate, no humidity, no moisture, so whatever you find is going to be perfectly preserved. So here by the elevator shaft where they would change clothes, we found about 10 to 15 pairs of pre-1900 jeans. Stronghold, Pacific Coast, Triumph, Boss. A whole collection of really well-preserved pre-1900 jeans. These are all Levi's in here. Levi's have a pair pretty much similar to this. These right here are Stronghold. You want to see something awesome?
Whoa.
The only ones ever found, we found 2 of them, Stronghold, pre-1900. One back pocket, no belt loop.
It's funny how he's just manhandling them like that. I thought they'd be more careful with them. Makes more sense finding them by the entrance. I mean, it does, doesn't it? If they put them on and then took them off at the end of the shift, that's where they're going to be, right? They're not going to be deep in the mines, really. Yeah, for sure.
Put the buttons on there.
The buttons are donut buttons. Now, these things here, when we first found these, we thought they were Levi's because they had the rivets and they were so dusty.
Rivets, yes.
And they had but they had this thing here. I'd never seen those on Levi's. It extra reinforcement. They actually made them better because Levi's would rip out right here, as you can see. And so these were, these are like 501s. These are thick. But look how big this guy was.
Yeah.
Yeah, they all had that. L&M was Stronghold.
Yeah. Which of these are the oldest pair in there, do you think?
These.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh, these are the. Pacific Coast. Nobody's heard of that brand either.
No.
But they have one back pocket. You notice they'd wear out. 2 back pockets are kind of handy. Huh?
Sitting on them would be wearing them out, right?
That's a weird deal too.
On all the rough edges.
Well, it's like when we found one pair, our first pair we ever found. It was on a 100-foot rappel. You had to swing in the drift to get in there, and then you get in the drift and you're walking around, and there's all these vertical holes, and then laying there's a pair of jeans with an 1880 bottle and a dynamite spoon. And it's like, wow, this is impressive. And then I threw it in the shed. This is before we had the museum. And then we got a phone call. Oh, highest pair of Levi's. This was back in the 90s, sold for $25,000. And I said, we got one. I was just guessing, but we did have one. And they were Levi's. And they were in the shed. And after that, we decided we would take good care of them. We've made preparations to keep the preservation ongoing so it doesn't just drop off and turn into another desert dump or something. Where, so we have set up a nonprofit. And the nonprofit will have complete control after we're gone, and to keep it going further on. And then there's no limit to a person's vision and how far you can go with something. It's like that wall. You could go down another 100 vertical feet. How spectacular would that be? You know, to have some way to get down there. There's no limit to the beauty there. And there's a limit to maybe how many lights you can put in there. The best way to support us is you can get a hold of us at Castle Dome Museum. It gives you some information about who we are and what we do. And we do have volunteers who do different things. You can come out here and you can volunteer. You can work at a site, and if you're passionate about history, you'll love an opportunity to share this with people.
He didn't say how much those Levi's ended up being valued at. 500,000.
I am back at Cerro Gordo with a much greater amount of appreciation for an everyday article of clothing than I thought I ever could have. But so it makes life fun, you know, understand the context or the story behind these things that maybe in our everyday life that we've never spent the time to think about really. You know, and I know for me, I'm never gonna put on a pair of jeans or look at a pair of jeans the same. And that's cool.
It's true.
You know, so with all of this, what do we learn? Why are jeans found in abandoned mines worth $100,000? Well, I would say that the vast majority of the time, 99.99999% of the time, they're not. You know, 99% of mines don't have any type of article of clothing in them, and if they do, they are not the jeans that make these headlines. This has happened, what, once or twice in the course of history, and so there's an extreme rarity to these types of jeans, and that's part of the reason they're expensive. You know, as we know, if things are rare, they're more expensive. But I think it goes beyond that. I think it's what the jeans represent.
You know, this is something that is so ingrained in our culture, not just here in the United States, but worldwide, that's very accessible. You can see as a collectible why a lot of people will be into this. You know, it brings up this idea of like rebellion, resistance, style, you know, all these iconic people from Hollywood and all these different places. And it's cool. You know, it's something that people relate to. And so there's a wide market. And if you have a wide market, there's more people with more money, which could drive up the prices. You know, at the end of the day, these things, when they are found, people are risking their lives to get them. You know, I wanted to mention that, you know, mines are inherently extremely dangerous. There's a reason they say stay out, stay alive outside of them. They are hazardous, they are toxic, they can be fatal. And so I want to say that in this video, you saw myself, Britt, and Jeremy exploring mines. We have explored thousands.
This is his pitch to not get you to go into mines. Don't do what I do, and also don't do it so that I can get all the genes.
Tons of mines. You know, we went through great safety precautions on this day to make sure those can be a safe explore. You know, Britt and Jeremy got permission to explore these mines in advance, and they made sure that everything was going to be safe from our getting out there and from our getting back. And that's important. You know, I do want to say that if you're out there and you watch this video and you're like, oh, I'm going to explore an abandoned mine, I would highly recommend against it. I think that
he does have a duty of care here, though, because he is influencing people.
Sometimes it's good to understand history, but sometimes it's good to respect history too. And there's been a lot of history of people getting very injured in mines. And so I would just say, stay out, stay alive. There's a reason that they say it all the time. Stay out of the abandoned mines. But beyond that, I really appreciate you guys checking out this video and the support over the years up here. I love being able to dive down these different rabbit holes and share the findings with you.
Thank you, TB.
I hope that many of you make it up here to Cerro Gordo, to the museum I'm in. There's plenty of rabbit holes to go down with all the different items around me. But until then, I hope you guys have an amazing week, and I'll see you guys next time.
There it is, folks. TB, Tooth Boy. Don't do what he does, just support him in his quest for finding these beautiful genes that are worth potentially $500,000. Thanks for hanging out with me on the Streamskins. Like I said, I'm not working tomorrow, and therefore I will not also work Thursday. Therefore, I'm not working this week. I'll be streaming every day. If the weather's good, I'm going to do not an IRL, but an outdoor stream just to chill out. Keep that on. Think about that. Think about that, because I want to get more out, and I want to get outside more, and we're working towards that. But for the time being, good night all. Thank you, Charles. Thank you, Flowski. Thank you, Dalski. Thank you, Jude Jitsu, and whoever else was up here in the chat earlier. Giggle Pickles was here from the beginning. Appreciate you all. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for being here live with me, as it were, as it is. And I'll see you soon.
Started out alive, man, that was the screaming every night.
Shit. Charlie, you got me. You got me. You got me a good one. Crap out of me. Thanks for that. Oh, Flowski. I see them all. Thank you, man.
New Zealand's vibe, surfing waves day to night. Always looking for the next thrill, that's where I ignite. Community so solid, always shining bright. Rolling deep and cruising for the height. From the struggle to the stream, it's all just a game.